Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is Professor R 𝗤𝗚𝗖𝙁 and we talk about some of the big states. Have they become too big to manage? Would it be better if they are reorganized into smaller states? Also, what about the language issue? All this and more. Let's welcome Professor R 𝗤𝗚𝗖𝙁. Professor RV, Namaskaram and welcome to PGurus channel. Om Namah Shivaya.
Namaskar, Vanakkam, Namaste. It's always a pleasure to talk to PGurus audience because many of them are erudite and provide very interesting comments and other thing. Of course, some of them are abusing and that's okay. That's not very critical. And I would like to thank Iyer and the owner of the channel and who will hopefully by next what one can call calendar year end, he will have a TV of the PGurus channel. He is smiling, but I know his plans are similar to that. Also, I wish he gets some good position under new regime of Trump. Some, maybe a senator.
Sir, I don't fit the bill, sir. I don't have affairs. I don't have multiple girlfriends. I don't have any
Anyhow,
deals,
I am only wishing you. I am
underhanded
not
deals.
telling it will
I'm
happen.
totally disqualified, sir. I'm totally
Okay.
disqualified.
Anyhow, my only is I am only wishing. I'm not telling it will happen or anything, right? I can always
You are
wish.
wishing, not willing.
Millionaire, for instance, right? Okay. And of course, thanks to Sachin, the ever present program come everything operative behind the scene, but critical factor of this entire show. And before we start, kindly subscribe if you have not already subscribed to this channel, which Iyer should be telling. And Iyer also will be briefing you on this Sengol for 1 minute or something. After that, we can start on this, right?
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, sir. So, viewers, the Sengol is is being shipped. It has been shipped to all of you who have bought it from United States. It was shipped about 4 or 5 days ago. You should be getting yours any day now. These are all sent by media mail. It takes 6 to 7 days, so you have to just be a little bit patient, and it will arrive at your home. And we have more stock now in the United States, and in India also we are going to be able to ship this week. That is coming Monday onwards. It just takes a little longer in India. Paperwork is just sometimes something that we have to do with. I can't help you on that. Everything is ready to go except it's not. So we'll keep you posted on that. And if you want to purchase more Sengols by month end or first week of December maximum. So this is again Sachin putting on his clearing agent hat and making sure that everything is arriving. It's a design that was done over multiple continents, viewers. It's not something that's easy, and we've managed to keep the quality aspect in mind. We tried 3 or 4 different designs, did not work. We were not happy with the quality. Let me put it that way. And this is how now we have got it. We want you to have its pride of place in your puja room or on your desk. So we're going to give you some options on how to make it sit on your desk. Some of the things are available. We are trying it out ourselves to make sure that we like it before we recommend to you. So just stay tuned on that one also. So you do have an option to buy it now. Whether it's in India or in the United States. For other countries, we don't have it enabled yet. We just need to get our hands around some of the logistics process. Viewers, I mean, what do you think I do after all these programs are done? This is what I'm doing, chasing all these things, making sure that, get shipped. It's a one-man show in the United States. I have to do all the packaging. I have to do all the stamping. I have to make sure it is raining now. So I have to make sure if I leave it outside that it is all covered so it doesn't get wet. Just another day at work. Sorry, we have not jumped into the topic yet. It's already 4 minutes into it, but it's an important topic. At the same time, this is something that is necessitated. Indian politicians, especially the regional parties, will kick and scream about what Professor RV is going to say, but it has to be said because what he's going to say is not going to be linguistics based. That's what I understood from what Professor RV was hinting. So he's going to give us 2 or 3 main bullet points based on which this reorganization should be looked at, not on base of language. Language is the last thing that comes to mind. If India needs to progress, India needs to be more nimble in its decision making. That's the whole idea here. You may like it, you may not like it. Please put good comments, don't abuse us. We are just messengers. We are just thinking through what is good for Bharat. Both of us will be gone soon. So it's the youngistan that needs to understand the importance of what we are trying to say. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Iyer. Only one minor point I just want to add. I only hope, along with the Sengol, you are also providing a brief, some sort of a write-up.
Yes, it does. It comes with that thing. It ships with that. It's about a half a page thing, very small pamphlet. You can read it for your children.
Everything can even be attached with that hanging.
Yes.
That's very important, because many people may not know the background of this entire initiative, and after a couple of years it will be forgotten even, unless it is put in writing, right? Okay, thank you. And now states are organized as per linguistic reorganization, what are known as State Reorganization Commission 1, which was constituted in 1953, and 1955 it gave its report. You should be knowing Faisal Ali was the chairman, with the 𝗚𝗚 𝗚𝗏 and 𝐻𝑛 𝗠𝗏. If you go back to those days, in almost all the commissions and committees, 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗠𝗏 played an important role, and they were, I think, the common factor. Anyhow, the reason I want to mention this is, now, this DMK government is using the word Ondriya Sarkar, or what is called the federal government. It's very interesting, actually, because the party got started around 50 and came to power in 67. And throughout the period, original leader Anna, as well as Annadurai, as well as Karunanidhi, who became later leader, none of them used the word federal government. They always used central government. I do not know what motivated the current one, which took office, to change the thing to federal government. Ondriya Arasu, they say, the union government, they say. First of all, I always maintain many of these Dravidian stock, they know not the history of our country. Sometimes they also don't know the geography, that is separate. But history is not their cup of tea. Some of you may remember that India got independence, and there were British presidencies like Calcutta Presidency, Madras Presidency, Bombay Presidency, and other. And then there were 560 or so samasthanams, kingdoms, and all these kingdoms were merged to form this country. And those kingdoms were called the states that time. That time there was no concept of states. When the constitution was formed in 1950 and announced, there was nothing called, the current type of states. And of course, as an aside, we should appreciate Sardar Patel, because in those days there was no mobile phone, there was no computer, internet, as well as high-speed aircrafts, nothing. He sat in Delhi along with some people to help him. He traveled a little, but he merged all these 560 kingdoms. Believe me, not an easy joke. Some of them, cajoling, some of them threatening, some of them, mutual understanding, and all of them were provided what is called the privy purses in order to compensate them for the loss of income which they were otherwise having. Much later, Indira Gandhi in 1969 abolished these privy purses. That's a separate story. Anyhow, Vallabh Patel did something unbelievable, actually, if you look back. And that's why he can be easily called as a steel man of India or a Yuga Purush. It's not very easy to, you imagine this. Except Hyderabad, told that they are not interested in joining or something like that. Then the police were sent inside and Nizam agreed. The only Kashmir was the sore point, because Nehru told he will handle that, which was not required. It could have been handled by Patel, and the same way he could have made it. Anyhow, so these were called the states, and union of these states that time when the constitution was initially announced in, and that stood. Later, what happened? Before this, actually, 1948, just after independence, Congress government constituted a committee under 𝗏 in order to study the reorganization. Because Congress government, Congress party, much earlier was always talking about linguistic reorganization and importance of language and other. But the 𝗏 Commission, 1948, gave a report telling it is not advisable to split our country in the form based on languages. He very interesting. That commission report is available. He said this will unnecessarily create animosity between regions, and this is not going to be helpful. Anyhow, that report was kept in cold storage, or it was not, nothing was done on that. Then what happened? In 1952, one gentleman, 𝗤𝗚𝘗𝘁𝘗 𝗲𝙗𝘍𝗏, who was the leader in Andhra Pradesh, he went on a fast telling that we want to have a separate state based on language. And he did fast for a long period of time. One of the interesting political leader who actually fasted, not like contemporary leaders who fast between breakfast time and lunch time, and then say, or who fast unto death of their opponent, not their own death or anything. So fast unto death. Or like our chief minister of Tamil Nadu, he fasted in Marina Beach. He lay down in a bed, and on one side was one of his wife, other side was another wife. He had all these air coolers behind, and and not that type of fasting. This 𝗤𝗚𝘗𝗏 𝗲𝙗𝘍𝗏 actually fasted for a period of 50 plus days in 1952, and then he died. And that created a huge amount of agitation, consternation, and violence and other thing in the then Andhra Pradesh. That is Vishal Andhra Pradesh. 1953, it was made, it was promised that they will get a state. And one commission was formed by Nehru, State Reorganization Commission, in order to study this whole issue in 53. That was Faisal as a chairman, as I mentioned earlier, K.M. Panikkar member, and H.N. Kunsru another member. 53 and 55, after thorough analysis and study and traveling all over the country, they gave the report. And on the basis of that report, the 56, the states were reorganized. That time it was only 14 states to start with, and the states were primarily organized on the basis of language, but in some places more than one state had the same language, like UP, Bihar, and Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh. All of them in some form or other had Hindi as the language. Of course, the people will nitpick, it will be 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, it is not Hindi itself, like that, Maithili. Anyhow, this was the 14 state plus 2 union territories were suggested. This was formed. But the original constitution, which mentioned India as a union of states, those samasthanams, that continued. That was not changed or anything like that. So that is the states which is mentioned in the constitution. And that is what these people are interpreting as current states. And then they are claiming, or they are telling that this is a union of states. First is, some of them are also without any understanding, comparing it with the American situation. American have 50 states, some of you may know. That is the number of stars in their flag. First was Delaware. That was the first state which sort of became a part of US, United States of America. Last state was Hawaii. And in between several other states, some states joined on their own volition. Some state there was a battle and they were captured by the other states. Like this, it went on for a long period of time. The point is, even today, the American president is elected not based upon what is known as the common voting by all the citizens of USA. For instance, it is possible, like in Hillary Clinton time, for the one of the contestant to get more votes than the other. But in terms of the state representation, the other person can win more than the half of the requirement and then become the president. This is something very important to realize. Second is, the federal government there cannot alter the map of any state. State maps are all fixed, frozen, and it is take it or leave it type of a situation. And states have enormous amount of independent type of powers and other thing. For instance, recently, this Los Angeles County told they will have a huge place where the refugees can come and stay. They will see to it that the federal government is not able to do anything to them. I do not know what actually is going to happen, but Trump has already announced about utilizing the military emergency on the first day itself. Anyhow, what I want to stress is this shows about the nature of autonomy available to states. Some states in US, even today, do not require any identity for you to prove that you are a citizen before voting. It's not that all the states you require to prove that you are a citizen. Every state has got its own way of doing things. So let us not confuse that state with our Indian states. Indian states are formed by the central government. That's very important. And it can change the geography of a state. Uttar Pradesh, for instance, was cut and then Uttarakhand came out of that. Same thing, Chhattisgarh came out of the MP. So new states were added. Goa was added much later in the 60s. And other than Goa, Sikkim was also added. So the center can add states as well as divide states, do many things in terms of, for instance, many of the northeastern states were formed during Indira Gandhi time by splitting Assam as a single state into many of the sub-states. They became popularly called Seven Sisters, but they are much more seven sister-in-laws because they quarrel always themselves. So the name Seven Sister is very interesting name. Anyhow,
Sir, Professor RV should be playing in the 11 that is playing in Perth, because with Professor RV as a fast bowler, Australia doesn't stand a chance. I don't know how many of you picked up on what he just said. Sir, over to you.
Anyhow, so this is a major difference between India and US position. Let's not confuse between the two. So today, what is the situation? Some states are very unwieldy. Let's be very clear about it. UP with 70 districts. If all the district heads are called for a meeting, it will be a public meeting. It is not going to be a discussion. I don't think UP Secretariat will have a room large enough to accommodate all of them. I don't know how they are managing. Anyhow, it's a very huge state and very, imagine before the split into Uttarakhand, how much it would have been bigger. And what is commonality? Let's say Western UP, Meerut, Jat farmer there, and Eastern UP take Varanasi, one of those boatmen or one of those priests in Varanasi. What is common between them? Nothing. Even the language is not same. In the sense, there are local variations in the language. So it's purely for administrative purposes. It is existing as such a huge state, very unwieldy, very difficult to manage. Bundelkhand people want to have their own state. Similarly, the northeast part of the UP, they also want to have their own state. Nothing wrong about it. And take Jharkhand, for instance. It has so much amount of minerals, so much amount of other type of what one can call iron ore, then coal, so many things. Same thing, part of Bengal, not all Bengal, part of Bengal and part of Orissa. Now, all these are in the traditional sense in the Western countries, if you see in Germany or US even, they would have become rust belt. The entire industries would have started in those fields, and those states would have become highly industrialized states, actually. And in India, unfortunately, even though they have all the type of these minerals, they are very backward because no industry got started there because of the proposition called freight equalization introduced by my previous professor Mahalanobis in the second 5-year plan. Nehru encouraged it. It was felt that industries should be spread all over the country, which is a very interesting idea, but a stupid idea also, because that deprived all these core producing states of their ability to become industrialized. What is freight equalization? In simple language, a kilo of coal at the pit head in Bengal or in Jharkhand will be same price at Chennai or Bangalore. Nowhere in the world this freight equalization is there. If you are having in Pittsburgh or any of those places, wherever the raw material is available, it's advantageous to set up industries around that. And so they are called sometimes Rust Belt, Ruhr Belt, and various names, Germany, US, and other. But we created this. Almost all the major companies started in South. All your BHEL, BEL, BHMT, name any company, and in the West. It should have been actually. So in those days, Anadure used to give speeches like 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝙪 𝗤𝙬𝙤𝙪. That means South is on decline, while as North is, which is exactly wrong, which is opposite was happening. What was happening is South was having all these industries coming up. Another reason, much later told by some strategic thinkers, is South is far away from Pakistan. So to that extent, it is advantageous to have industries in South rather than, because they were Pak obsessed and they invented this logic much, much later. Anyhow, we are very good at that actually. That means an event will occur, and after a couple of decades, we will find out what could have been the underlying cause or reason for that event and other things. Anyhow, so this is what has happened. Those mineral and other type of producing states, they lost heavily in the process, and some of the other states got the full benefit. This is the second thing. Third thing, what happened is rivers. Every river became a bone of contention. We used to have in our traditional system, while taking bath, you say Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari, Saraswati, Sindhu, Kaveri. All these rivers were worshipped and considered to be part of your pot of water, which you may be the local municipal water only. But while you are pouring on your head, you consider them to be part of this. And what has happened, unfortunately, every state began having origin of that river, began to claim that it belongs to them. And they tail-ending state, or where the river passes through, they were not given the adequate amount of importance of something. And as usual, politicians jumped into that. Agriculturist became a very big thing. For instance, Kaveri between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and other rivers also. Rivers like Godavari, rivers like Krishna, all of them are having conflicts. What is the third thing? Third thing interesting, the language-based states are expected to flourish, and respective languages will flourish. Instead of that, it became a bone of contention between states. Every state began to every state began to claim their language is the oldest language. I do not know what advantage or what benefit. Okay, your language is 1,000-year old. Your language 2,000. How does it matter? It's like arguing my grandpa is 94 years, your grandpa is 99 years. Both the grandpas are of no use. 94 or 99, it is. But I do not know. Some people like to argue in this fashion. Not that we respect or we cherish. I remember New York, I was there in the 80s. I went on a guided tour of New York City. This guide took us to a church and told this is one of the ancient churches in New York. He told it is 90 years old. I just smiled and told him, look, dear sir, I come from a country where less than 1,000 we don't consider anything as ancient. Our measurement starts from 1,000. And everybody in the group was laughing at that. For us, I told this church is contemporary, which is very recent. And so anyhow, so this is the type of a language. Instead of creating amity, instead of creating unity, it began to create animosity between each one of the states, every state claiming it to be their, and then every state wanting to have a flag, every state wanting to have an anthem. And fortunately, flags are not allowed for any state in this. This is, I want to make it very clear in this discussion. No state can have a flag of its own. The only exception of Jammu and Kashmir, that is also gone. After the abrogation of 370 article, that state cannot have its own flag. No state. But every state wants to have their own anthem, their own. So it's becoming a very interesting type of a thing. Particularly states like Tamil Nadu, who for a drop of a hat immediately say that Hindi is imposed on us, another thing. This is something which is, so the language-based formation doesn't help. Time has come for us to relook. We have had this for nearly 70, 75 years. Maybe another 10 years also we can have. But we should constitute another state reorganization commission. The large states are not very easy to handle. Let's be very clear about it. Some people will say smaller state will be more chief minister, more ministers, more corruption. That's, the per capita corruption is not going to change. Except because of the population, it may change. Population is on the denominator. We should know that. And so, larger population, per capita corruption may come down. In the 60s, I remember somebody was telling per capita debt is so large. Then one minister made a complaint, what is this per capita business? I told numerator you put debt, denominator you put number of people. Oh, he told simple, have more people produced, encourage more children, then per capita debt will come down. So the minister was very clever in terms of changing. So that's not going to be useful. Let's be very clear about it. So we need to relook at this whole issue very seriously, and whether language-based states is useful, whether large states will be useful. whether the states which are not taking into account our river valley. We are basically a river valley civilization. Many people forget this in all this discussion. We are not desert civilization. The three brothers come from desert. Three brothers, I think you understand, in terms of who came and who are fighting for the last 2000 years on that 120 square mile land called Jerusalem. And they go around telling the people in the world that you should not fight, you should have peace and other thing. Anyhow, we are river valley based civilization. This is something very, very important. We are not desert based, because desert based civilizations have got their own norms, rules, and other things. For instance, pigs were used while they are fighting, and the pig meat, many people will know, get spoiled much faster than cow meat or camel meat. So the pig meat was not accepted and it banned. It's not because pig is holy or anything. It's because pig is ugly and pig is to be banned. So like that, these desert civilizations have their own peculiarities. But river valley civilizations have our own advantages. We treat rivers as goddess, not gods. All our rivers are named after women, except Brahmaputra, which is the only river which is a Nada. All others are Nadi. Ganga, Yamuna, all these are Nadis. Brahmaputra, because of its violent nature, maybe because it originates in Tibet and China, it's called Nada. So we treat rivers as women, goddess actually. And so let's look at what could be the criteria if new SRC is formed. And I think our friend Sachin will help us. We can create states based on river valley based clusters. For instance, the entire Kaveri from start to finish is, I'm just giving as an illustration. I'm not telling it should be done or anything. If it were to be a single state, the level of conflict and level of animosity will be much lesser, because it's all our state people only. And similarly, iron ore, coal, etc., those regions should also be closely looked at, and correspondingly we should try to form states based on them. Existing economic clusters also is important. We should not discard them, because it has grown over a period of time, like your Coimbatore cluster, Surat cluster, Jalandhar cluster. So many clusters are there. According to me, there are some 800 or so major clusters, and all of them are caste-based clusters. We will not get into that argument now. Most important. And so we should also keep that in mind, the current economic cluster. So many of these criteria, a state can have people speaking different languages. Most important. It's not that earlier Madras presidency used to have people speaking Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, and other. Language is a unifier, is a most bogus theory. If it were a unifier, England and America would be the single country only, even today. It's not required for it to, even though today many people will say that American English is not same as British English, but both are English only. U is missing in one of them, and so that's okay. So language is not. Otherwise, for instance, North Korea and South Korea should be same. Both should be Korea only. And our own recent example, Andhra Pradesh, the state for which 𝗤𝗖 𝗏𝗏𝗏 went on fasting and died, and which was formed based on that as a linguistic state, that finally split into two. It's not one now. It's one portion is Telangana, other portion is Andhra. So if language is a unifier, that should have been a similarly argument about religion. Then you should be having Pakistan and Bangladesh as a single country, continue to be a single country. So it is not. So culture is most important. So river valley based clusters, core iron ore type of production, current economic clusters, all these can be considered. I'm not telling this is exhaustive list. I'm only telling this could be some indicative list. You can have easily 50 states. Why 50 states, sir? Just because US is having 50 states. Yes, Sensex is having 30. Where from it came? Dow Jones is having 30. So it is not that any major rationale was used for making Sensex as 30. Of course, my doctor always says I never understand the Sensex business. The second part of that sentence only is appealing to me, but not the whole thing. Anyhow, that is 30. So here also it is 30. So it's not something which is very 50 states, or it can be 60 or 40. It's not something. Not more than 2 to 3 crore population, having multiple languages, multiple religions, multiple cultures coexisting. It's not something very difficult for us actually. Large number of apartment building, if you see in contemporary cities, many of the apartment people belonging to different languages, different cultures, different, but at the same time having some commonality in terms of their living habits. So it's not very difficult in India to create such a what one can call basis. I think this experiment of linguistic reorganization, according to me, has failed. It has not succeeded in any way, in any of the basic thing which we considered. So there is a strong need to relook at this. Also from the point of view of unviable large states. State like Madhya Pradesh or state like Uttar Pradesh, if you travel, you will understand what I am talking about. It's not there are miles and miles where there are no tanas. Some of you might be interested to know, India has got something like 15,000 tanas only, the whole country. Well, California itself has got something like 10,000. So I am talking about regular tanas. There are also bandobast type of a specific location where they create temporary ones. And by and large, our population is so, believe me, sir, peaceful and self-regulating, God-abiding. That's why it is. It's not. If you ask me, is it managed by the government? No. It's in spite of the government, things are going on. It's not because of the presence of these. So, if you have a smaller state, advantages would be ability to run the show much better, and it's not required for every state to have its own what one can call constitution or its own, and the center can have more powers in running these 50 60 states, and of course each state can be having their own financial independence, and primarily they can focus on fundamental things like roads, water supply, power supply, and various of some of those basic things they can really focus on, and they can be competitive. For instance, Haryana, state which got formed from Punjab, which is not such a big state, but very interestingly, their in the Porter type of logic, their source of strength is seems to be sports. Believe me, sir, 40% of the medals in international events is got by Haryana. It's a very small state, not such big state or anything. And it has its own, and 30 to 40% of the rice which is eaten in Tamil Nadu through the ration shop come from Punjab and Haryana, not from Tamil Nadu, even though they claim themselves to be 𝗒𝗲𝙠 𝗠𝙠𝙤𝙠, and thousands of years before itself we knew how to eat rice, perhaps not to make rice. So anyhow, so that is what is the small states have their own plus point. Some people will say small state will make it much more corrupt, and the level of corruption is not going to increase. I can assure you on that. And that's one of the things which cements our India, actually. Unity in diversity. The level of corruption at Kamrup is same as the level of corruption at Kottayam. This is something why I always used to be fascinated. I used to, land registrar, for instance.
I thought it was normalized, sir. I thought it was normalized to the economy.
We have, it's normalized, and it is also, the word spread so fast. This is very important. Once the copier, for instance, 200 rupee fines you for not keeping any of the papers which are required, pollution certificate, 200 rupee will fine. Very interestingly, Jaipur also the cop takes only 200 rupees. This I always found to be very, very fascinating. A big study can be conducted on this. How this, this message spreads like anybody's business. And one of the truck drivers who used to carry this cash, all the truck drivers in India are given some amount of cash by the owners, because on the way they have to, of course, for their own food and other thing, more important, but this payment in the check post, every place, one state to another state, another state. So one truck driver was explaining to me, Tamil Nadu to Andhra, Andhra to Orissa to Bengal. He goes up to that and comes back. The transshipment. He says more or less amounts are same. So we have to, what we have to give, 500 rupee, 500 rupee, 500 rupee, like that. And so something very, so having a smaller state is not going to increase in any way the activities of leaders and other things. Maybe more leaders and come up in life, more children of various political leaders. Smaller state, even 2 states they can try to operate, not necessarily in one state, but even one state is adequate. So my humble submission is the government should seriously think in terms of constituting SRC 2 based upon various the type of development which have taken place in the last 70 years. And language is not necessarily the only criteria. And with the AI and other thing, every day I am reading the one language to another language translation can be simultaneous. It's not going to be. I am sure after 5 years, this whole language business will go away, because everybody will be able to understand one language to another language. Like, of course, now another, I was just today hearing that the Tamil Nadu Education Minister's son, he took French as the option, not Tamil. So the, what one can call the type of thing which is happening, I think will reduce the importance of language. And most of the people have stopped reading books, those fat books like that of Tolstoy or Dostoevsky. I don't think anybody will have time or inclination to read. It's only the listening, and that's the audio. And the people also stopped writing. It's only typing. So that's the type of a thing. So I don't think language will continue to play a very major role. Sometimes technology comes and helps. I will tell you a simple example. In Bangalore, as well as Madras city, there used to be a lot of commotion about the boards of buses, government buses, where from to where they go. and should it be in? So various alternatives were suggested. In Madras, in those days, the front will be in Tamil, the back will be in English. They tried all sorts of things, and so the boards have to be removed and put back and by the conductor at the beginning of the. And what happened over a period of time now, the electronic boards have come. By itself, it shows in Kannada, it shows in Tamil. After that, it shows in English. It can even show in Hindi. No, nothing. So that whole debate has gone now. Nobody talks about the boards are not in this language or that language or something. I wanted to give this as an illustration how technology can change the way in which some of these controversies are sorted out. Like I always say, corruption can be reduced by technology. In 1992, before that, if you want to travel by train in India, you have to meet the man with the black coat called 𝗤𝗖𝗎, and then you have to give him some dakshina in order to.
Sir, I have a question, sir. Train ticket examiner. What examination are the passengers writing, sir?
Huh? No.
Ticket.
Yeah. No. Passengers are not writing any exam. Passengers have to have that small piece of paper in order to go from one location to another location. It's like Lord Brahma who takes you to the next what one can call stage. In the olden days, their story used to be when Guga took Rama from one to another shore, he refused to take any money. That boatman, Ram asked, why are you not taking money? He told, no, you are taking us in the samsara sagara from one life to another life. And this is a small trip only I made for you. Like that, the TT is not taking you completely. It's only for a short distance. But after the software came, the computerization and the railway, the job is totally become redundant. I was told in those days, the general manager of some southern railway, the cabinet minister at Delhi, used to ring up who should be TT in which station, Shialda or Central in Madras or all this, because all these postings were phenomenally money-making posting. Now nobody is interested. It can be in any station standing or. So a simple example of how technology has eliminated corruption. Similarly, I visualize technology slowly reducing the importance of language. It doesn't matter. You can speak in English, which will be immediately understood in Hindi by somebody, and already many of the local languages are, according to me, people will pounce on me. It's all dying. If you see, many of my Bengali friends, when they write supposedly Bengali in internet, when they write letters and other thing in Bengali, much more it is in English than Bengali. Similarly, it is Tanglish, and Tamil people write. They don't write really pure Tamil. It's gone. So most of the languages are anglicized or Indiaized. One of the two is happening in our country. Anyhow, now very calm and quiet type of a reorganization basis, we require a commission of eminent experts, not just political leaders, experts also, who can suggest what could be I'm not telling that tomorrow itself it will be solved or anything, because in the current census basis in next 2027, they are planning to change the number of MPs in parliament, and that is going to create a lot of consternation, maybe agitation, because some states who have had better family planning, they are going to lose MPs, 2 MPs or 3 MPs, another. Some other states who didn't have so much, in terms of the reproductive success, they are going to have same number of MPs or more. So that is going to create a huge amount of agitation and other thing. I think before that, this task can be taken up. Very important. And over a period of time, this should be implemented is my suggestion. Thank you very much, Iyer, for providing this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Your well of humor never dries. When Professor mentioned about Sensex, he split the word as sense, and then the new Twitter platform renamed as X. We don't know how this doctor understood it. So we will leave it at that. And sir, we have a few questions for you today. Inquiring minds want to know. Magnet Ranga wants to know, no Bangalore BBMP elections in nearly a year and no corporators now, yet BBMP working. Do we then need corporators? Can't the city be managed with MLA and officials and save on expenses?
Yeah, we should. We don't even require MLA and others. We can have a metropolitan council consisting of different field experts and who can run the city actually. No difficulty at all. At the lower level, many of these entities need not have elected bodies. Okay.
Next one, please. Rohit Akshay wants to know, pranam to both panelists. Professor RV, South of India doesn't have a common language unlike North, which uses Hindi. When do you think South will embrace that for a better cause?
I don't think South will embrace any. South will just embrace, that's all, not any cause or anything. So that is the. And North also, we have a understanding that it is same language. No. You go to Benares, you go to Meerut, it's not the same Hindi. So many local variations are there. Even in Tamil Nadu, for instance, between deep south Tamil Nadu and Kongunadu, as what is called the Coimbatore region, Madurai region, everywhere there are variations and other things. Not the same Tamil which is spoken, even though it is understood that the same Tamil, it's not. I don't think South will have any common language.
Next one, please. Thank you, Krishna. I remember Professor RV proposing the closure of several non-essential Indian government departments long before Vivek Ramaswamy mentioned it. What a legend. Sir, it's compliments to you, sir.
Incidentally, that Vivek, I think, is one of my followers also. I have been telling that we have too many government departments actually, which are not required actually. Today there was a report telling that Delhi government servants can work from home, 50% of them. If you see the sentence of the government order, how many words are humorous in that? One is government servants. Servant is a misnomer. They are all kings actually. Second is they can work from home as if they are working. This is another. So one simple sentence of government order has got so many what one can call unacceptable or imaginary terms. That is what is. So I don't think many government departments can be closed. Nothing will happen. And many of them are duplicating. You have a central government and state government. Women and child welfare. One lady minister is put. She can take care of her child at least, welfare. Nothing else is going to. So why do we have so many, agriculture, everything duplication? And central schemes are operated by the state and state bluffs it is their scheme. There is a lot of controversy on that. Then they say that this what you call this level of rice what we provide to the cows are our rice, and then there is a central team says no, it's not your scheme, it is our scheme. All these are rubbish. There is no need for If you ask me, Indian government can have foreign affairs, definitely, defense, definitely, including all type of paraphernalia defense, right? And then banking and currency. Fortunately, it is central government in India, unlike many other countries where there is so much chaos because the activities are not central. Our entire financial system is central, except cooperatives which are under the state administrative function. So, banking, finance, RBI, defense, external affairs, and technology. This is because many of the state governments, unfortunately, do not have adequate amount of people to deal with this technology. They will, they will say, we will also create. And I'll give you a simple example on this. I studied 18 major states. All of them have, with fanfare, cut ribbon to create their own IT in every department. Department of this small irrigation, big irrigation, education, everywhere. This happened somewhere in the mid 2015, 2016. Some states were 2011, 12 also. I studied, I found that you will be shocked actually. Out of these major states I studied, 16 to 17, 60% have not updated their IT network in their own what they have opened after 16, 17. Some data is only of that. All of this is rubbish actually, waste of time. And they are very proud to announce that we have electronically, we are nothing they are doing actually. So for that purpose, IT, I would like it to be with the central government, as well as of course this ISRO type of looking at the sky, looking at the deep ocean and all these things. That's all. I think all others can be either closed or that's all we can try to do. Thank you.
NN wants to know, sir, smaller states means more bureaucracy, means more budget in salaries and perks. Your thoughts?
No, smaller states is not necessarily the current bureaucracy is also there in all the districts.
Will be split. That's all. Yeah.
That's all. There is no need for additional. We are going to create. Okay.
Actually, it saves money for the consumer because the capital city will be closer to where they live, as opposed to what it is today. Srikakulam to Hyderabad, which used to be the case, was 800 kilometers. People have to spend one day traveling, another day doing their work, one day never anything gets done, another day in Hyderabad, then they can go back. Now all that stuff is pretty smaller. It can be a day trip. Look, there are good things about this. In fact, the very guys who will oppose the loudest, that is the 𝗣𝗬𝗏 ecosystem, you know how many districts Tamil Nadu has? They continue to break. Why?
Already 38 or so, they are going to increase it.
Yeah, why?
Some states, I tell you another thing. If you are in Raichur or Bidar or something, you can come to Bangalore faster through Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Not the regular route. Some states are very unwieldy. That's why northern part of Karnataka wants to become separate. They have got their own agitations going on periodically till the party support it, don't support it, and other things. Similarly, southern portion of Tamil Nadu wants to be separate. Northern portion, of course, it's a caste-based dilemma also there. Northern portion where this PMK, 1 year group is very powerful. They also want to have doesn't matter. The point is, some are, as you rightly said, Srikakulam to this Hyderabad, such a janjat. And many people have to come to state headquarters for some work or something. Transfer of a teacher or settling their pension fund and all that thing. They have to travel. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I hope your time was well spent. Certainly, please do comment on this program. Professor RV always prepares for his talks. In fact, we've been talking about this for close to a couple of weeks now. So that's the amount of prep that goes into it. So please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Namaskar.
Thank you.